Cold Case Files. Lone survivor of her family's brutal murder gets justice 37 years later. It was a frigid Monday morning in January 1984, just outside Denver, Colorado. Connie Bennett received a phone call that would change her life forever. Her brother, Larry, was on the line, his voice trembling with worry. Connie's son, Bruce Bennett, and his wife, Deborah, hadn't shown up for work that morning. Bruce and Deborah were regional distributors for Bassett Furniture, working for Bruce's uncle. They were reliable, dedicated employees, so their absence was alarming. Connie and Larry had just seen the couple the night before at a celebration for Bruce and Deborah's daughter, Melissa, who had turned 8. The house had been filled with laughter and joy. "I remember the kids laughing and playing," Connie recalled. "Debbie made it special. It was a happy night." But now, less than 24 hours later, something felt terribly wrong. As Connie entered the house, she was led from the garage into the kitchen. There on the floor, she saw the lifeless body of her son, Bruce. He had been brutally attacked, struck repeatedly in the head and face with a hammer. His throat slit. The scene was gruesome, a stark contrast to the warmth and joy that filled the home just hours earlier. In the master bedroom, Connie found Deborah's body on the bed. She, too, had been bludgeoned to death. The violence was unimaginable, but the worst was yet to come. In Melissa's bedroom, Connie discovered the body of her 7-year-old granddaughter. Melissa had suffered the same fate as her parents, but the brutality didn't end there. She had also been sexually assaulted. "Every person who set foot in that crime scene turned pale," said Detective Steve Connor, one of the first investigators on the scene. "It was a level of brutality that was really unheard of. I was disgusted. I felt very bad for Connie, for what she had to see." Amid the carnage, there was a glimmer of hope. 3-year-old Vanessa, the youngest member of the Bennett family, was found clinging to life between a wall and a bed. Firefighters rushed her to the hospital, where doctors fought to save her. Miraculously, she survived. Vanessa's first memories are fragmented, a mix of fear and confusion. "I remember the sticky things on my chest," she said, referring to the electrodes used to monitor her heart rate. "I don't remember if I asked more than once, 'Where's my parents?' I would assume I did, as any child would. But I don't remember being told, 'Your parents are dead.' I think I just got the picture." Vanessa's physical wounds healed, but the emotional scars ran deep. Therapists tried to coax memories from her, hoping she could provide clues about the attacker. But Vanessa, traumatized and terrified, could recall nothing. "I remember there was a time when people were asking me, 'What did he look like?' she said, 'but I don't remember anything. Nothing." Detectives turned to the last people who had seen the Bennetts alive, the guests at Melissa's birthday party. Connie, her 2 sons Richard and Daniel, and a few close friends had been there. Richard recalled telling his sister-in-law, Tanny, to remind Bruce to close the garage door before going to bed. "I said, 'Make sure you tell Bruce to close the garage door,'" Richard said. She said she did, but for some reason, Bruce didn't do it. The door was left open. Investigators believe the open garage door had made the house an easy target. The killer had slipped in unnoticed, leaving behind a trail of devastation. At the scene, detectives found a knife in the snow next to the driveway, which had been used to cut Bruce's throat. But despite their efforts, they were unable to lift usable fingerprints from the weapon. In Melissa and Vanessa's bedroom, crime scene investigators made a chilling discovery: semen on the carpet beneath Melissa's body and on the comforter that covered her. It was a crucial piece of evidence. But in the mid-1980s, DNA technology was in its infancy. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI, informed detectives they were unable to process the DNA evidence. The case went cold. 11 years later, in 1995, the CBI finally had the capability to extract DNA profiles. The semen found at the crime scene yielded a DNA profile that pointed to one person, a match so rare that only 1 in 18 million individuals could have deposited it. They said, "If you get this person, That's the person who did your crime, Detective Connor recalled. But we had no idea who it was. For years, the DNA profile set in databases, unmatched. Then, in 2018, Chief Deputy District Attorney Michael Kellner and Detective Connor teamed up with Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick, a genetic genealogist. Using open-source DNA databases like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, Dr. Fitzpatrick began searching for relatives of the unknown suspect. Within days, she had a breakthrough. She called me and said, "I've got a last name for you, Ewing," Detective Connor said. That name had never appeared on any of the reports. It was a brand new lead. Investigators quickly uncovered Alex Ewing's criminal history. Just 12 days after the Bennett murders, Ewing had been arrested in Kingman, Arizona, for bludgeoning a man with a rock. He had also attacked a couple with an axe handle, nearly killing them. Captured in Nevada, Ewing was convicted of attempted murder and had been in prison since August 1984. When confronted with the evidence, Ewing denied any involvement in the Bennett murders. "This is just crazy, man," he said during an interrogation. "I think I need to talk to an attorney or something." But the DNA evidence was undeniable. Ewing was charged with the first-degree murder of Bruce, Deborah, and Melissa Bennett. In 2021, Alex Ewing stood trial for the Bennett murders. Prosecutors described his crimes as acts of absolute bloodlust for violence. The jury convicted Ewing on all 3 counts of murder, and the judge sentenced him to 3 consecutive life sentences. When I heard count number 1 come back as guilty, I knew the next counts would be guilty as well, Detective Connor said. Ewing still awaits trial for the murder of Patricia Smith, another victim of his brutal attacks in 1984. For Vanessa, now an adult, the verdict brought a measure of closure. "It's been a long road," she said. "But finally, after all these years, we have justice." The Bennett case highlights the transformative power of forensic science. What was once an unsolvable crime became a landmark example of how genetic genealogy can bring justice to victims and their families. "Without DNA, we never would have caught him," Detective Connor said. "It's amazing how far we've come." For Connie, the case is a testament to resilience. "I never gave up hope," she said. "I knew one day we'd find the person who did this. And now we have." The Bennett family story is one of unimaginable loss, but also of hope and perseverance. Vanessa's survival, the dedication of investigators, and the advancements in forensic science all played a role in bringing Alex Ewing to justice. 37 years after the crime, the Bennett's legacy endures, a reminder that even in the face of unspeakable evil, justice can prevail.